So Jen and I grew up in BC, and we started, after we got married, heavily being involved in the Victory Church there. And 5.5 years ago, we were invited by Pastor Matt to come down to this church, as Kelly and Joylyn had just taken over, to come and experience what the service was like here. And then ended up coming to a service here on that Sunday morning, and were completely floored by the genuine service that it was. Nothing was forced on us. It was just amazing to see people react to God in church in such a such a real way. And so we ended up going home, and we gave everybody 6 months notice that we were moving.
Yeah, we moved from BC, and we had looked at an apartment online. It was a basement suite on the west side of Lethbridge. But when we got there, it was pretty much falling apart. There was water damage in the kitchen. There was like anthills all over the place, baseboards falling off, the whole 9 yards. And after trusting God to get us from BC all the way to Lethbridge, we knew that we were there for a purpose, and we had that in mind, but we definitely didn't see the process of everything that was happening in between.
We had attended a Sunday service here once we had arrived, and I was introduced to a gentleman that got me a job almost immediately at one of the places here in Lethbridge. And within 2 weeks, I was working at this place and making a decent wage, except the hours were graveyard shift, afternoon shift, morning shift, and I wasn't getting much sleep. And so my whole personality had changed. And I was actually blaming God for it, because I'm like, God, you put me here, and now I'm just supposed to make it work. Like, is this what you brought me out here for, is to just be in this place? And it wasn't producing anything of what I had imagined God had for us. We were serving constantly at the church here day and night, doing setups and teardowns and stage designs, and it became so much more evident and apparent to me that as things progressed at that job, where promotions happened, I was able to earn more money, that the process wasn't over yet, that God was still taking me through steps and providing along the way, just not in the increments that I thought He was going to. And like our entire lives growing up in church, like on the finance side of it, is that we hear all the time in like Leviticus about the tithe, and you hear in Malachi about like you're robbing God if you don't give your tithe. And for me, guilt was always a terrible motivation for me. I didn't want to feel guilted into doing anything. For us, finances was always a soft spot because we were young and stupid, but it came to a realization to me that I'm not robbing anything from God. God has everything that He needs. It was more so that I'm robbing God the opportunity to be able to bless my circumstances because I'm not trusting fully in Him. And for that, it was a game shaker for me, because that changed everything. It changed the way that I looked at my family. It changed the way that I looked at my job. It changed the way that we handle our finances. And seeing it happen over and over again, I know that if I put God first in my finances, and if my finances rule everything else in my life in regards to what we buy or where we place our hope, then I know that God's blessing is from the top all the way down, through the family, through our fun, our fitness, everything like that. And it completely catastrophically changes how God is able to be evident in those areas of your life.